All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're gonna be in the lightweight division. Gervonta Tank Davis does some explaining about what is going on between he and Mayweather Promotions. And in short, he says that the love is gone, but details some things that sound kind of questionable. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, talking about Gervonta Tank Davis, who will be fighting Hector Garcia on January 7th. And then after that, around the middle of the year, we'll be fighting Ryan Garcia in back-to-back. Those are back-to-back fights that are excellent fights. And some questions were asked about why no one has heard from Floyd Mayweather Jr. despite these fights being announced. Now, before I get into what Gervonta said and what I think of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. If you are a longtime subscriber, supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot. This particular video I'm going to dedicate to my man Cadillac 634. What's good with you, sir? Always good to see you in the chat. And thank you guys so much to everybody that supports in the live streams, in the super chats and the cash apps, and also on super thanks, which you can do on videos like this just by selecting that heart with the $sign. That is how content creators like myself are able to continue to do this work. So if you like the boxing conversation, you appreciate your support is greatly appreciated. All right, so let's get into this drama that I think people are putting a lot of drama on, which really isn't all that dramatic. Gervonta Davis is now going to be fighting Ryan Garcia in a fight I never thought was going to get made, quite honestly. And before that, though, he is fighting a very dangerous opponent in Hector Garcia, who is a 130-pound WBA super champion from the Dominican Republic. I do believe Hector is a southpaw. I may be wrong about that, but very solid fighter, big guy for those weight classes. He's listed at about 5'8". I think he has like almost a 70-inch reach, but significantly longer reach and taller. And I do believe he's also bigger than Gervonta Davis, and a guy that can fight. They can fight in a bunch of different ways. Very solid fighter. Not the biggest puncher in the world, but a very good fighter. So that's going to be now obviously, I favor Gervonta Davis to win the fight, but the next fight after that is Ryan Garcia, and I favor Gervonta to beat Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia is, again, very big, tall, long, very fast, very powerful, and very talented fighter with a with a big name and a big support base behind him. So, if Gervonta can get through those two guys this year, man, that's going to be excellent accomplishments for Gervonta. And seeing as Gervonta is this big money guy, being able to do pay-per-views that are successful and, big events that are successful, the guy's going to make a lot of money in it. Now, as far as what was asked about these fights, someone, and I do believe that it was Ray Jackson on Twitter, asked, what happened to, why we heard about Floyd Mayweather in these announcements. And he may have also asked Floyd or Leonard Ellerby much about these announcements. And Gervonta Davis responded and said, well, because the love is gone, and talked about how, he was over at his mother's house last night, and his mother had told him that his uncles, who got him into boxing, had overheard Leonard Ellerby saying that or predicting that Rolly Romero would knock out Gervonta Davis, right? So clearly, that's something that would affect their relationship, and he feels like, hey man, he might have been portrayed by Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather Jr. or set up to fight somebody where they thought that he could lose, and that wouldn't be the first time that Gervonta has said something like that. He also said a few years back about, in retrospect, this is several years after the fight took place, but the Jose Pedraza fight and how he felt like he was set up to lose against Jose Pedraza because he wasn't ready at the time, even though he came in and dominated Jose Pedraza. For some reason, he had those feelings, or at least that's how he communicated it, right? Now, here's the thing. Here's my thing on this. All of that is whatever, really. Now, and the reason I say that is because, somebody else came out and put out a tweet. And very funny guy, dude. I always forget your name, brother. I'm so sorry, man. But he's over there on Twitter, in the Twitter world, and does these very, very comical, short, maybe 15-second shorts. And he talked about the issue and how Leonard Ellerby did this, and the other. And Gervonta Davis responded to that and said, look, man, basically, I can't wait to run into you, and I don't mind catching a case when I do. So it's like Gervonta Davis vacillates between being, saying things where, he's being aggressive with somebody that is close to him. But whenever somebody else comes in and tries and says something about it, he gets defensive in favor of the person that he had the issue with, right? Similar to, I think, what happened with he and Truck Simpson, where he and Truck Simpson had a little bit back and forth. But at the end of the day, those guys are friends. They've known each other for a very, very long time. But, you just kind of it seems like Gervonta would just get aggressive with people every once in a while, or just have different arguments with people. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. First, as far as, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Leonard Ellerby thinking that Rolly Romero would knock out Gervonta Davis. I mean, look, I have a very, very hard time believing that, because those guys know boxing. They know boxing, and nobody in their right mind thought Rolly Romero was going to knock out Gervonta Davis. It was not going to happen. He lost to Jackson Marinez. Everybody watched that fight, saw that he pretty much lost to Jackson Marinez. And to just the idea that they truly believed, that Leonard Ellerby truly believed that Rolly Romero was going to knock out Gervonta Davis, I doubt that very much. And also, I had heard Leonard Ellerby on several interviews leading up into the fight, basically saying, hey, man, this is going to be a really good fight. And, Gervonta's a great fighter. Rolly Romero, hey, man, if Rolly Romero gets close to somebody and hits him, he can knock anybody out. So leading into the fight, in a bunch of interviews, Leonard Ellerby had stated that Rolly Romero had the ability to knock out anybody, right? Now, maybe, when somebody in your family hears that, they don't appreciate the guy saying it, but that doesn't mean he's necessarily, and this is obviously from the outside looking in, really doing anything but what his job is as the promoter of both Rolly Romero and Gervonta Davis, right? So, to me, it just is like, I don't think there's a whole lot really to be made of that. On the other side of it, as far as, Gervonta Davis not being with Mayweather Promotions, look, man, he's a 28-year-old young man now, and I'm not saying 28 like these other dudes be saying, you're already 28, what are you going to do with the rest of your life? As if this guy has not already made enough money and isn't fighting on a regular basis and doing pay-per-views and doing sellout shows. It's like, man, what 28? Like, there's guys that have their entire career and never accomplished what Gervonta does. But as far as him being mature and needing Floyd Mayweather Jr. to be the front man on selling his shows, and needing to have Mayweather Promotions responsible primarily for the promotions, when he can have a team of people that include Al Heyman, that include Steven Espinoza, and maybe somebody like a TGB who maybe get involved in and Watson, Sam Watson, who can be involved with the ticket sales and all of that stuff and the marketing of that stuff on that for that fight basis. Man, he may have outgrown the relationship and the need for that from Floyd Mayweather Jr. And it could just be time to move on. That's what happened with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Bob Arum. It happened with Canelo Alvarez and Oscar De La Hoya. It happened with Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum. Once you get to a certain size and a certain status, you just don't need that, some of that stuff that you did need when you were an up and coming fighter, right? So, hopefully this is not anything where these guys really have any ill will towards each other. It's just a matter of these guys moving on. But I will tell you that these fights for Gervonta Davis, these next 2 fights are very dangerous fights. And I certainly hope people give him, if he's able to win these fights, that people give him the credit that he deserves for taking them and winning them, and don't continue to find reasons to drag the man down. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.